tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Monday, October 3rd, 2022. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. You know the old expression about burning the boat so you can't turn around and go back where you came from? Because to a certain extent, isn't Derek Lunsford wrapped up in one of the all-time bodybuilding burn the boat scenarios that we've ever seen in recent memory? Obviously, we've seen guys like Keon Pearson go back and forth between the 212 and classic physique divisions, and there are probably a handful of other high-level names that fall along those same lines too. But to the best of my knowledge, I can't ever remember there being a time when a sitting champion decided to make a move like this in the middle of the season. This isn't just burning the boat. This is like setting the boat on fire 2 miles out from the shoreline and swimming the rest of the way in. So what does that tell you about his confidence right now? How certain in the outcome do you have to be to make a choice like this? I can't say that I know because I've never been in that situation, but neither has anyone else. So only time will tell us if this was the right move in hindsight. I'm not sure how many of you guys out there are into fishing or being out on the water, but there's actually a whole formula you need to use to determine how much horsepower you need in your engines to optimize your power to weight ratio. And I don't know this for sure, but I am 99% sure if you plugged Nick Walker's power to weight ratio into that formula, that everything would come out, well, just fine. I don't know if it's just me or if I'm completely off base here, but for one reason or another, it doesn't feel like we have the same Nick Walker buzz heading into the Olympia this year as we did last year, which does seem kind of weird when you consider the fact that we're talking about someone who placed 5th in his debut last year. I get that we haven't seen him compete at all this 2022 season, but odds are that he's probably gotten better, not worse, which means that he should be in a position to contend for a top 3 spot this year, at the very least. But then again, it is only October, so there's still plenty of time for us to go full throttle and really ramp itself up, which, well, could cause a few people to get caught in that wake. On one of the shows last week, I said it was way too early to start talking about the NFL playoffs, and I still stand by that. But I will say this. I think if you asked most football fans which round of the playoffs were the most fun, I bet you most of them would say the wild card round, because those are the games when it feels like anything can happen. And even though we don't have a wild card round in bodybuilding, well, we do have a few wild cards in this year's Olympia. And Vlad Suhoruchko is one of them. He's the bodybuilding equivalent to one of the teams no one wants to face in the wild card round, because they have the potential to get hot and turn it around at any moment. And when they do it, it usually leads to an upset. As we've seen so many times throughout the years, all it takes is for someone to get hot at the right time, because once they're in the zone, at that point, all bets are off. Along with Vlad, another name that deserves to be mentioned in these conversations about potential wildcards is Antoine Vaillant, because he's already coming in hot right out of the gate. When Antoine shared these updates late last week, one of the things that immediately jumped out was his conditioning, because I'm pretty confident in saying there's no way he looked this good 12 weeks out from last year's Mr. Olympia contest. And here's the other thing to keep in mind about Antoine. He placed second to Ian Valliere at the IFBB Vancouver Pro earlier this year, and it was a close second to a guy who is currently one of the top 7 open bodybuilders in the world. On any given night, Antoine is plenty capable of beating most of the guys we're expecting to see placed in that 7th through 10th range at the Olympia, which means that if he shows up at his all-time best, someone might be walking out of that building with their feelings very hurt. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions. And make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.